Hey guys, it's your boy, Mr. T-Bones, coming at you with classifying quadrilaterals. What does that even mean? Geez. It's actually not too hard. A quadrilateral, quad is four, lateral is line. So 4 lines. So any 4 lines that make a shape is a quadrilateral. Okay? 4 sides, okay, they all have to be enclosed. Okay? If you have 4 lines that aren't enclosed, okay, so boop, 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 okay, not a quadrilateral, it's not enclosed. If this went all the way up to here and that went down to there, that is a quadrilateral, okay? So it's got to be enclosed. So we can classify the sort of quadrilaterals, right? Because there's a lot of ways to connect something that's got 4 different lines enclosing it. Squares, rectangles, parallelograms, and trapezoids. Okay, parallelograms are actually relatively simple. It means that they are parallel sides. Okay, so parallel means there are 2 lines that never touch each other. Okay, so if these lines went on forever and were going on and on and on and on, they would never ever cross each other. Okay, so of course they never, you know, like this line and this line, they don't touch, right? Totally don't touch, right? But if we talk about them as a line, then if this guy goes on any further, it will cross this. So even though these 2 don't touch, they're not parallel. Parallel lines are lines which, if you were to draw forever in both directions, okay, they would never cross. But this almost immediately crosses. Okay, so definitely not a parallel. So if you put the left-hand pair of segments with the center pair, okay, so boop, boop, we get this quadrilateral. Okay, if you put it with the center pair, okay, you get this pair. So both of these quadrilaterals have 2 parallel sides. Below, we show some more quadrilaterals with 2 pairs of parallel sides. Use the finger or eraser of your pencil to trace the pairs of parallel sides on each quadrilateral. So just trace them, okay? So as long as the sides are parallel, they're called parallelograms, okay? Now here's the thing you're going to notice about these, okay? So all 4 sides are quadrilaterals. Parallelograms are parallel, okay? Trapezoids, okay? You have 2 sides that are parallel and 2 sides that come towards each other, okay? And trapeziums, okay, they're just wonky. They're just all going over the place, all over the place, okay? Now, of these parallelograms, okay, you also have a few other parallelograms. Can also be 2 other things, okay? A square, where everything is parallel and they're all the exact same size. So this is the same size as this, the same size as this, same size as this. Okay? You could also have a rectangle, where not only is everything parallel, but this and this are the same size, and this are the same size. Okay? Rectangle is a parallelogram, is quadrilateral. Okay? A square is a technically a square is a rectangle, is a parallelogram, is a quadrilateral. But yeah, they're all parallelograms, quadrilaterals. Okay? Trapezoids is a different type of quadrilateral. Okay? Trapezium, it's a fun word to say. You should try saying trapezium. Trapezium. It sounds so sci-fi. I love it. Ugh, trapezium. Trapezoids are another type of quadrilateral. Okay, trapezoids have 1 pair of parallel sides. Okay, and the other is not parallel. Okay, so these 2 are for some reason it's like the Z didn't like show up here. I don't know why. Trapezoids, trapeziums. Okay. Yeah, so these 2 are, you got 2 parallel lines, and these 2 are not. Okay, so 1 set of parallel. All right. Trapezoid and a trapezium. I think you guys can figure that out. For some reason, the Z's keep dropping. So, yeah, rectangles, rhombuses, squares. I did forget rhombuses, where they're all parallel, but they make like a diamond shape. Yeah, this is more accurate than what I showed you. Yeah, so I think they do a pretty good job of talking about all of these things. And these are kind of a fun, this is, if you struggle with this, go ahead and do like flashcards with this. They're fun to say: quadrilateral, trapezoid, trapezium, parallelogram, rectangle, rhombus, and square. All right. All of these, by the way, or most of these anyway, have special, when we start talking about the angles inside of them, you're going to find some really special rules about them, okay? And those rules are going to help us with a lot of math. And so we're going to find out about those rules later, maybe even next year. I don't know if you learned about it this year. But one of the reasons why knowing these shapes is so important is because it helps us know the angles, which is helpful for geometry. So classify this as a parallelogram, trapezoid, trapezium, rectangle, rhombus, and square. Every word that applies. Okay. Wow. Yeah, that's going to be a lot. I might just do it verbally and you guys can write it down. But before I get to that, the written practice again. Ooh, let's just do 8 through 19. Oh, okay, so just these guys here. You might want to do 7 too, because it's tricky. Yeah, we'll do 7. 7 through 19 all. Okay? It's not really tricky, it's just good to remember. Okay. Go ahead and try this on your own, but if you get stuck... So this one here is a rectangle, which means it is a rectangle, it is a parallelogram, and it is a quadrilateral. Okay, it's going to be relatively easy, but it's going to be 1, 2, 3. This here, okay, that is a trapezoid and a quadrilateral. Pro tip, they're all quadrilaterals, okay? This guy here, that is a rhombus, is a parallelogram, is a quadrilateral. This over here is a trapezium, which is also a quadrilateral. This guy here is a parallelogram, is a quadrilateral, okay? Which is also, is it also a rhombus? E is a rhombus. So if I look at it like this, right? I think it's also a rhombus. What's the square is both a rectangle and a rhombus. Yeah. So square is a rhombus as well as a rectangle. Yeah, so rhombus is, this parallelogram is also a rhombus. Okay. If you really want to know the difference between a rectangle and a rhombus, okay, a rectangle has a 90 degree, that's 90 degrees, and for a rhombus, this angle and this angle together, whatever they are, equals A plus B equals 180 degrees, okay? But they are not 90, okay? Because 90 and 90 equals 180 degrees. But for a rhombus, A and B are not right angles, but together they equal 180. Okay. Okay, so rhombus, parallelogram, quadrilateral, and this rhombus, rectangle, parallelogram, quadrilateral, and a square, of course. Okay. Parallelogram and trapezoid. Okay. Parallelogram. They're all, both sides are parallel. Trapezoid only has one set of parallels. Draw a rhombus that does not have right angles. A rhombus does not have right angles. I mean, the only rhombus that has right angles is a square. Okay, That's the only rhombus that'll have 90-degree angles. Okay, so if we look at the I was wrong. The rhombus has congruent sides, so the sides are the same. So this is probably not a rhombus. I don't think I'd have to measure. This one's not a rhombus. It's just a parallelogram in the quadrilateral. Okay, Mr. Thibodeau is mistaken about that. A rhombus does not have right angles. So it looks like that. Okay. Alright, that's it. Alright guys, have a good one.